Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to unpack a pretty wild idea about what really drives a nation's digital success. And here's a hint. It's not what you think. It's not just about money or policy, but something much, much more fundamental. Something hiding in plain sight.
Okay, let's start with a puzzle, right? You've got two of the world's oldest, biggest civilizations, China and India. Both are home to over 1 billion people. Both, started their modern journey from a pretty similar place after colonialism, but their paths in the digital age, they couldn't be more different. So what gives?
And, the contrast is just, wow, it's stark. You've got one country building this incredible, unified, high-speed rail network and becoming the world leader in digital payments for literally everyone. And then you have the other, which, for all its amazing strengths, is still struggling with these big infrastructure gaps and a massive digital divide. So, to really get to the bottom of this, we need to dig into the story of these two giants. Let's try and find the real root of this split. Now, when you ask people why China is so successful, they'll usually point to the usual suspects, right? Its massive scale, the insane amounts of investment, the brilliant strategic policy. And yeah, all that's true. But here's the thing. India also has incredible scale, a world-class IT sector, a huge talent pool. So that can't be the whole story. Clearly something else is going on here. And the answer, according to the source we're looking at, is hiding where we almost never think to look. It's in the very architecture of a nation's writing system. Yeah, you heard that right. It's all about the alphabet. And this brings us to what seems like a pretty dry, bureaucratic decision made way back in 1958. But with the benefit of hindsight, this decision looks less like a footnote and more like an unseen masterstroke. One that basically set the stage for everything that came next.
That decision? It was the creation of Hanyu Pinyin. Now, look, most of us probably think of Pinyin as just a way for foreigners to learn how to pronounce Chinese, right? But that is a huge, huge misunderstanding. The argument here is that Pinyin was a strategic masterstroke, a kind of civilizational adapter, engineered for a digital future that nobody could even see yet.
Think about the problem they're facing. For centuries, China's complex characters were this incredible cultural treasure. But in the 20th century, they were suddenly a huge problem. How on earth do you type thousands of intricate, beautiful symbols on a 26-letter QWERTY keyboard? It seems impossible. Pinyin was the genius solution. It created this simple, phonetic bridge. It let China keep its ancient characters while building this super lean, super efficient on-ramp to all digital technology.
And the result? It was profound. This was basically the democratization of technology. So when the internet finally showed up, China was totally ready. A farmer in some remote village and a programmer in Shanghai could use the exact same system to get online. This one decision, this single adapter, created a unified digital market of over 1 billion people. Just incredible.
Okay, so now let's flip over and look at India's path, because it really is the perfect contrast and it highlights just how different the strategies were. So India, very wisely, chose to protect its incredible linguistic diversity. But in doing that, it didn't create a single universal adapter like Pinyin. Instead, the default bridge to technology became English. And this, the source argues, created what it calls a two-track society. You have the super fast lane for the English-speaking elite, and then a much slower, more fragmented path for pretty much everyone else.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Hang on a second. My friends in India are typing in Romanized Hindi and all sorts of other languages on WhatsApp all the time. Isn't that basically the same thing as Pinyin? And that's a great question. It really is. But the answer is a hard no.
The author of our source material puts it perfectly with this great metaphor. It's the difference between a footpath that people create on their own and a massive federally constructed highway. And that difference is absolutely crucial. See, Pinyin is a mandatory, unambiguous standard. It's taught in every single school. It's systematic. The informal romanization you see in India, it's totally ad hoc, it's chaotic. There are a dozen ways to spell the same sound. This makes it pretty much impossible to reliably sort data or search for information or build official government systems on top of it. Pinyin gives you a formal digital identity. The other stuff is just a clever but messy hack for texting. And what's so fascinating is that this isn't just a story about China and India. We see this exact same pattern playing out in other Asian tech giants. Just take a look at Japan and South Korea, two other tech powerhouses with non-Roman scripts. They also pulled off these technological miracles.
So how'd they do it? Well, they solved the exact same problem. Japan has standardized romanization systems that are taught in all its schools, and South Korea's native script, Hangul, is already phonetic, so it maps perfectly onto a keyboard. The point is, each nation built a standardized, universal bridge to the digital world.
So the lesson here is pretty unmistakable. If you want to achieve mass digital inclusion, if you want to create a truly unified digital society, you need a single, universal, state-mandated interface between your people and the machine. This all points to this powerful underlying principle for how nations develop in the 21st century. The source calls it the Layer Zero principle.
So, what is Layer Zero? It's a really simple but powerful idea. A nation's writing system isn't just about culture. It's critical infrastructure. It's the foundational code that everything else, education, commerce, innovation, is built on top of. It's the base layer that determines whether new technology lifts all the boats or, just the expensive yachts.
Here's another great way to think about it. You've got all that capital, all that talent, all that policy. That's the powerful engine of the economy. But Layer Zero, that scripting system, that's the drivetrain. And without a solid, functional drivetrain, all that engine power is useless. It can't actually get to the wheels and move the entire society forward together.
So, we'll end with this final, provocative question that really reframes how we should think about a nation's future. It's not just about economics or politics anymore. In this digital age, the ultimate question might just be this: can a nation's language speak, simply and effortlessly, to the machines that are going to define our world?